Okay, well, the tractor provides the power, but the real work is done over here, and that's with these implements. Come on, let me show you what we got. So you don't think everything I've got is shiny new. We've got this old manure spreader that came with the property, and that's just a utility cart. We'll be throwing trees in there and dragging tree stands out with it, and it'll just come in handy. But that's the end of the old stuff. We're gonna get into the new stuff. So, all this equipment that we got, all the attachment we got is made by Woods Equipment and sold by McCormick. That's why it's got the McCormick red on it. These are, anybody who's familiar with farming knows Woods Equipment. That's some of the top quality attachments that are made in the industry. This is a Posthole Digger. We have a lot of work to do on this property. This property is not just about putting in food plots. We're going to be putting in fencing. We're going to be putting in gates. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with this project, not just food plots. So the Posthole Digger is going to come in very handy for that. Over here we have a box blade, so we can smooth out some of the roads. We can also level out some of the food plots. So the box blade is a very useful and common implement that you see in any farm or any project for habitat management. Now this is something you don't see very often, and this is a stump grinder. We're going to be cutting a lot of trees down. In fact, that's our project for today, is to cut trees down. Trees leave stumps. We can't pull all the stumps up with heavy equipment, so some of the stumps we're going to be grinding down, and we can grind this with this piece of equipment. We can grind that stump off the PTO down to within 10 inches below surface. So I can actually grind down and then till right on top of that ground down stump. That's just is a godsend for me that I found a piece of equipment, heavy duty. We've already used it once and it just zipped right through the stump. It's fantastic. Now this, everybody knows what this is. This is a rotary cutter. You see this is basically what you use for mowing. It's 6 foot across, and it's made, again, all the stuff is made by Woods, and it's sold by McCormick. Fantastic, heavy duty piece of machinery. I've owned several of these rotary cutters, and I'll tell you that this is by far the most heavy duty piece of a rotary cutter I've ever seen. It's their industrial strength one. Over here behind all these trees, we have our disker. And this one happens to be a 6 foot disker. You can change the blade angle if you wanted to. And all of our first passes are going to be done with the disker. And then on some of our plots, the subsequent passes will be done with this over here. And that's our tiller. So we've got the rotary tiller here too. This runs off the PTO and it makes a much more finer seed bed than you would get off the disker. So we're going to do discs first. We have a lot of rocks here, so we're going to go over the disc first, and we're going to be plucking a lot of rocks. But then we're going to do a more finer seed bed with this. So this will do great. The other thing too with this is that we can run this through some really narrow areas through the trees, and we have a lot of apple trees, a lot of orchards on this property, and we can run this right through some of those things as paths and make these real narrow pathway type food plots. So this is going to come in handy. The last piece of equipment I want to talk to you about is this one right here. Now this odd equipment almost looks like a coulter packer, and it is. It's just like a coulter packer, except it has a seeder as well. So this particular piece of equipment will drop seed. I don't know how many bushels it will hold. I haven't read up on it yet, but I think I can hold 6 bushels of seed in this thing. So as you're going in, it's not only firming the seed bed, but it's also spinning up the 1/4 inch of soil that you want on top of your clover or whatever, you can set that depth. And it's dropping the seed down right in between where the 2 rollers are. And then it's got a roller in the back that just spins the dirt on top of it. So it's a combination coulter packer and seeder. And this is much more efficient than what we used to do. And if you remember the Bowside food plot in Pennsylvania, what we used to do there is we would prepare the seed bed and we'd put all the seed into a hopper or one of those hand things, and we just broadcast it all over the place. Now I can do much more fine-tuned seed drop with this. So this is going to be very, very helpful when we're doing all of our seeding, and especially again in those areas where we want to do very precise seeding along trails through the orchards and stuff. So this is going to come in handy. So that's it. You're seeing all of our attachments. The attachments are going to be hooked up to the big red beast over there, and we're going to get started.